Wednesday. This is a conversation we do every week to help you identify what to spend money on, because when you buy a vehicle, you're going to spend a lot of time with it. So you better get the best value for your money. Now, it doesn't matter which segment you're playing in, we've got you covered. We're going to talk about two segments today. The first one is going to be the 7-seater SUV, and we'll also talk about the luxury space, a couple of new launches in each of those spaces. Joining me to tell you everything that you need to know is Renuka Kirpalani, who is the Executive Editor, Video Content at Autocar India. Thank you so much, as always, Renuka, for taking the time. I want to start by asking you about the Jeep Meridian, which is the latest launch in the 7-seater space. What can you tell us about it? You've driven it. What are your initial impressions?
Thank you for having me, as always, Alex. It's always great to be on your show. Yes, driven the Jeep Meridian, and I think very recently the prices were also announced, which has put it in a very good space, actually, because with the Endeavour leaving the market, there was sort of a gap for a big tough SUV, and with its off-roading prowess, which was very impressive. You don't expect that of a large 7-seater, SUV. It is a Jeep. It has the DNA. So yes, it's great at off-roading. It's built tough. It's got adequate power. If there's one area of disappointment, it's the third row, which was actually, what the 7-seater is all about. It is a bit tight on space. But if you're not really keen on that third row, you can fit kids in there. And actually, when it flattens out, it opens up space for more luggage. So in that sense, yes, it is practical, and it is very, it's very well priced in its segment for what it offers. So I think the Jeep Meridian is a good one to look at. Driving it is a pleasure. Doing long distances in the Jeep will be really, really easy, because ride quality is actually one of its really top strengths, I would say. It's a USP for that car. The ride quality, I would say, is segment leading.
Renuka, this segment is, and correct me if I'm wrong, not the most popular SUV segment. It is the smaller SUV, the compact SUV. So I'm guessing you would have to broaden the spectrum when you're comparing this car with others that are available at that price point, sometimes even less than that price point. I also suppose it's what you're looking for in a car. But how would you say that it stacks up against its peers?
So I wouldn't say this is not a popular segment. In fact, the 7-seater SUV segment has kind of expanded. I mean, you can see, you've seen others like the XUV 700 come in, that's even in a lower price point, and it's expanded. It has just so much competition now in the 7-seater space. You've seen, like things like the Kia Carens also come in. You have Hyundai's Alcazar. So that 7-seater space is actually buzzing. So, while initially it was just these big, tough SUVs, and you're right to say that there was, like the Endeavour, the Fortuner, and the Gloucester, and now, of course, the Meridian. But that has, the Meridian doesn't have just those to compete with. Now it has to compete with the likes of, like I said, the Kia Carens, which has a fantastic third row, and space there is at a premium. The Maruti XL6 as well, So there's just so much in that 7-seater space for them to compete with. And then you've got now another one coming, the Mahindra Scorpio. So it's getting to be a really crowded and popular space.
I actually wanted to ask you about that before I ask you for your pick, because I'm sure that if somebody's watching this program, they want some actionable insight as well. But what can people anticipate from the teaser that I understand has been put out for the Scorpio 7-seater?
Well, I think what they can anticipate is, when you saw the XUV 700, you realized what a step up Mahindra had taken. And I think that's what you can expect from the Scorpio as well. You can expect a good quality interiors. You can expect it to come loaded with features. You can expect a good amount of space and performance, because the XUV 700 really gave you great performance. So I think it's a very well-rounded package. It looks good from the pictures and teasers we've seen. It has that butch look, and I think that's going to be one to really look out and watch out for. When you talk about picks in the segment, Alex, I think if you're looking for pure third row room, you're looking to really carry family and third row comfort, XL6, Maruti's XL6, and I think the Kia Carens really offer that up the best. You're looking for big, tough SUV, something that you can do a lot of off-roading in, and I think, yeah, the Meridian would be the one to look at now because it definitely has the strengths. And, the kind of ride and handling package that it gives you is pretty unbeatable. So, while you do all that crazy off-roading, you still won't be uncomfortable, and passengers won't be uncomfortable, even when you're going on rough terrain. So that's a good one about the Meridian. These would be, the things to look at in the segment. And then, of course, everything boils down to efficiency, price, and exactly what you want. So there are different picks for different customers.
Would you also say that besides what you've spoken about, and you've mentioned the key characteristics of this car that you would look for, would you also say that a network is important? Because Jeep, while you can say that it has had a reasonable amount of success with the Compass that it has launched, and the Meridian seems to be an interesting prospect, do you think that network is going to be a bit of a challenge?
Most definitely. And network, and I would even say after sales, both of them add up, and which is why the Toyota Fortuner, time and again, it's not really been the best in the segment. It's been, in most comparison tests, it's lost out on some places, but it still continues to rule the roost, and that's purely because of that reputation of the brand of Toyota, the fact that people have a peace of mind that comes with it. I think that plays a large role in how much the car sells as well. And, it can be priced wherever it wants. The Fortuner is not it is on the expensive and pricey side, but it still sells. And that, I think a lot of it has to do with peace of mind that comes with the Toyota brand.
Okay. So I think we've more or less spoken about everything that we need to speak about in terms of the 7-seater SUV. But let's talk about the other one that we want to speak about, right? That is the Mercedes C-Class. It's playing in another segment altogether. We're moving way up the value chain. What can you tell us about the latest C-Class?
Well, what you can expect is a baby S. So, if you've always aspired to have like that ultimate luxury car, this is a beautiful step into it. Because honestly, those interiors, if you put the two pictures together, it would be hard to really tell which is the S and which is the C. It has that fantastic, single screen, portrait oriented touchscreen that you see in the S class. So interiors have really, really, really gone a level up. And I think you have a variety of options. You have diesel, you have petrol. So that's really great. And I think, yeah, if you're looking for luxury and that three-pointed star has been a dream, I think the new C-Class gives you a fantastic experience.
Okay, but when you step into that category, you have the ability to pay the amount of money that you're paying. And so I think that the horizon just opens up for you, right, Renuka? So if you were to talk about peers for the C-Class and you were to zoom out and you're talking about companies like BMW, you're talking about Audi, you're talking about various other options, how does it stack up and what else should you consider according to you?
So I think in that segment, I'm an Audi A4 owner, so I think I'm a little bit biased on that one. But there is, you have the 3 Series Grand Limousine as well. So there is a lot of competition out there. And the Grand Limousine offers, a really good amount of backseat space. It's also got good amount of performance and great ride quality. So it's a hard one to beat. The A4, I think, sort of rounds everything between drive experience, refinement, comfort. It's a very well-rounded product. So the competition in this segment is really tough. I think eventually it boils down, and strangely enough, I say this, even in this segment, it does boil down to pricing. A lot of people look at what they're getting at what price, even in this segment, although they're willing to step into a world of luxury. Indians always want the best value for what they're getting.
That's fair, but I'm also wondering whether a lot of these cars are self-driven, and is there really a comparison that you can do in terms of how the back seat fares between one and the other, Renuka?
Yes, I think the Grand Limousine, because it is the longer wheelbase, does have a good amount of backseat space, and I think that would be the one to go for if you're looking for chauffeured comfort. Definitely, if you're looking for a complete all-round experience, I haven't done the back-to-back tests yet, Alex, and I'm just saying this off the top of my head. When we do a comparison, we'll really know what it feels like. But I think ride quality, the A4 really does that supremely well. I think the A4 has a fantastic ride quality and refinement in the cabin that gives you that luxury feel and experience as well. And the C-Class, has, I think, the interiors that really wow you in this segment. So each one has some strengths. And like I said, car buying, though, we pick and we choose and we tell you, it's a very personal experience. A lot of people like certain things and it makes the world of difference to them. I can tell you, for my daughter, the music system is all that matters. So, which incidentally is really great at the A4. So, there are different things that matter to different people. And so buying is a very personal choice. And so when people come up and ask me, which car should I buy? I always ask them, what is your key requirement? Because a different car may suit a different person altogether.
Yeah, and it's so personal, right? You step into that space and it is your own space and you spend a lot of time in that space. Thank you so much, Renuka, though, for clarifying those things. And always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much for having me, Alex.